This week we've popped down to see the historic boat event organised by the Canal River Trust at Ellesmere Port.
Thanks very much. So we're here at the Ellesmere Port Boat Museum. They have events on throughout the year. We've been to one before where they put a new lock gate on a lock in the corner. But we're here to see the horse taking a boat through a lock. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, the horse is called Flower. She's 10 years old, and we're going to meet David, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the horse-drawn boat, how long they used to pull the boats for, and a little bit about Flower, and also demonstrate how they get the horse ready to tow the boat. So we can't wait to see that, can we?
No. So the stables in the corner, they date back from 1790. Absolutely incredible. And we'll show you some of the amazing historic boats that have turned up for the event.
Yeah, they look absolutely beautiful. I know we've got a modern electric narrowboat, but these boats are just stunning. And like real works of art, weren't they?
Steeped in history as well.
Yeah. A lot of them are from the 1930s, I believe, these boats here, and the Saturn as well, that was built around 1905. We're going to go and have a look at the Saturn, and we can't wait to look around. We're going to chat to someone, hopefully from the Canal River Trust, and they can tell us how you could possibly help if you want to volunteer or help out the charity. But it's a lovely place to visit, isn't it?
Yeah. And the staff are great. We've been made to feel really welcome.
Yeah, we're going to go and have a look round. Come with us.
Yep.
Our first port of call is at the old stables, and we couldn't wait to meet this beautiful horse, Flower. And we chatted to David.
What was your role today?
Well, we've brought Flower, the boat horse, here to do some demonstrations. We actually towed Saturn from Chester to here at Ellesmere Port on Good Friday,
Wow.
Which was really good. And we're here all weekend. Flower's staying in the stables here. And we're going to be using one of the museum boats today, Gifford, to do the demonstration down the locks.
Yes, excellent. And how old is Flower?
So Flower's 10 years old.
Yeah, wow. And
Yeah.
how long has she been pulling boats?
I think this is about 3 years.
Yeah.
Before engines were installed in narrowboats, they were pulled by horses. And I asked David, how long was that the case?
So there was 150 years of horse boating, and the canal infrastructure was really built for horse boating before the motorboats were introduced.
I know you've been asked this question a million times, Sarah, but can you explain why you're doing this?
Just so it keeps the tail and the mane out of the way of all the harness and the gears and everything, because they'd normally have the tail docked off to about that point, so it wouldn't get caught up. But partly because we keep a tail and she's got such a long mane, then you just need to keep it out of the way more than anything.
David's about to give a quick talk at a demonstration and explain how they get the horses ready for towing the boats.
You'll be all right then.
Good boy.
She is a small horse, known as a pony. They didn't use big horses on the canal. There were places where they did, like the Regent's Canal in London and the Bridgewater Canal. But the boat horses tend to be quite small and compact because obviously they need to get underneath the bridges. And as they can't duck, that's the highest point of the horse. So even some of the canals that we've been on, we've found, we've been through Ellesmere Tunnel on the Llangollen Canal, and Flower only just fits through. Anyway, we'll show you the parts of the harness. So first of all, the collar. So a horse, although we say horses pull or tow boats, they actually push. So they lean into the collar, which sits on their shoulders here, and the horse uses its weight to lean into the collar and push with its back legs. So it's a nice comfortable collar that's made especially for Flower, and to put it on, we actually put it on upside down. So the reason we put it on upside down is that so it fits over her head and over her ears. It won't actually fit on the other way. So it just goes over her head sits there, and we rotate it at the narrowest part of her neck, which is just behind her ears, same way as her mate, and then it just sits back on her shoulders there. Now, without the rest of the harness, if she put her head down, that would just fall forward and into behind the ears. So, the next part is sits over there. There's two straps. There's two straps that just buckle up there. And then our least favourite part, which is the prapor, that sits underneath the tail and stops the whole thing sliding forwards. Stand. Stand. Just tie that one out of the way at the moment. So to connect the bit that we connect to the collar, we've got the hames on already. So we hook the traces on, and obviously to stop the traces rubbing the side of the horse, these coloured parts are called bobbins, and they just roll up and down the side of the horse so she doesn't get any sores. There's a girth underneath, which holds it all in place, stops it lifting up and coming off. And then at the back here, there's a spreader bar or swingle tree. This rope's called a bridle. Not the same as what goes on the horse's head. This is the bridle. Coming back to this piece of rope, and that's where we attach the tow line that pulls the boat along. So we use a 90-foot cotton tow line. It's important it's cotton because it's got some stretch in it. So when Flower leans into the collar, the line stretches as well and helps the boat start moving along. There's no hook, and it's not physically tied onto this. All we do, we've got a knot in the end of the tow line that just sits in there, and just by pulling tight, it doesn't fall out. But it can be released quickly if we need to. Then obviously we need to have some steering as well. So she has a bridle on, which is this part. Some horses, you'll see a lot of horses work through blinkers so that they weren't distracted by things that were going on around them, certainly behind them as well. But Flower's used to an open bridle, that's without blinkers. So we decided to try her with that, and it's always been up for us now. So we prefer it. So she's got a good spatial awareness. The last thing we wanted to do is fall in the canal. Put those reins straight. Nice and silky. Sorry. Put the reins on. Very nice. She's being impatient, she wants to get going.
All this has to be done properly.
Come here. And then we don't actually lead a horse when we're pulling a boat, we drive it from behind. So Elizabeth's put the reins on, and you'll see that I actually walk behind her and drive her along. Sarah does walk a few paces in front, more just to keep an eye on what other people are doing around her. So we just hook the reins on and we're ready to go.
It was fascinating to see how a narrowboat is towed by a horse, and it's incredible to think this is how boats were moved around for 150 years.
6 or 7 last year. Move along, nothing to see here.
The event was really blessed with the sunshine today, and it was nice to see so many people out enjoying the historic boats.
So it's lovely to be taking an angle up and down our locks.
We're talking to Liz and we're outside the really famous boat Saturn. Liz, what can you tell us about this boat?
Well, Saturn was built in 1906 for the Shropshire Union Canal Company. She was a flyboat, so she worked 24 hours a day and would go from a place like this, Ellesmere Port, to Birmingham in 29 hours. So she was an express service, so she carried precious goods because she was non-stop, well, sort of non-stop, I'll explain that in a minute. And she had perishable goods because they needed to get the fresh goods to markets. So she would work on a timetable and she would stop at villages and towns along the way. And there she would collect goods or deliver goods. So she would have an ever-changing, so the white van of her day. And she had 3 men working her. So one would be steering, one would be walking with the horse, and the other one would be getting a rest and some grub. And obviously they'd rotate. The horses had stables along, so it was a company horse, and the company owned lots of horses. And actually Saturn was one of about 150 boats at a time. She's now the only one left. So that's why she's special. So they would swap the horses about every 8-9 miles. So put the tired horse in, fresh horse out, hence the expressing. And when they got to locks, she had priority because it was on the Shropshire Union Canal, owned by the Shropshire Union Canal boat, Shropshire Union Canal horse. So they went into the locks and off they went. And actually a horse-drawn boat in a lock is faster than a motorboat because the horse, they've just had a demonstration, and the horses, because they used ropes and pulleys, the purchase would get you to put the pulley, the end on the lock gate, so that you'd open one, so you'd have one man opening one lock gate, the rope would pull the other lock gate open, and the boat would shoot out down. So that's her in the 1950s. She then became a hotel boat, which is how she survived, and went all around the system for about 20 years, down to London, Oxford, famous, popular places to go, Stratford-on-Avon. So there she is as a hotel boat with a cabin on. Then she was lived on for a few years until she died, basically. All the wood was rotten. There was a few bits that were good, but not enough. So basically, the charity rescued her. So she's got the original ironwork, but new woodwork. And so now we take her around the northwest to events like this and to places where schools come and visit and find out about Saturn.
If anybody wants to find out about the charity, how do they do that?
So let's go to Facebook webpage. Then we've got quite a lot of people follow us on Facebook and Instagram, which gives you up-to-date things of where we are at the time, and on the website, which is a new website, so it's still getting better. But that will give you updated things of where we are at times.
Great. Thanks for talking to us, Liz.
Oh, that's all right.
The cabin where the boat family would live is very typical of its time, and it's hard to imagine that 2 adults and the children lived and slept in this space. And a lot of the space-saving ideas were taken from typical gypsy caravans of that time. It was fascinating looking around Saturn and all the space-saving ideas they had. I made sure that Auntie went and visited later in the day, and he loved it too.
Fabulous.
I'll give them a shout.
Excellent.
Who was his anniversary and when the boat was built. So,
There's everything you could think of in this cabin to try and make life for the boating families as comfortable as they could. You've got your dining table, there's seating, there's a bench, and there's even a bed, as well as that solid fuel fire.
Wow. We've finally got down here to see the historic boats. Aren't they beautiful? Just come and look at these.
There are about 46 historic boats at the event, and don't they look immaculate? If you're close by or you can travel here next year, make sure you put this event in your diary. It's well worth a visit. This is Michelle, and a bit later on she's going to give us a tour inside this beautiful boat called Ipswich. We're enjoying looking at the boats, and Sebastian is meeting some new friends.
She can be photogenic when she chooses to be.
Oh, this is Raggy.
This is Raggy.
How old's Raggy?
Raggy's 7,
Oh, hello, Raggy.
and he loves being on the boat.
Talking of boats, I've got a ticket for one of the short boat trips.
Well, welcome folks, my name's Chris, one of the volunteer guides at the museum. So it's my pleasure to host you on this trip down the Shropshire Union Canal towards Chester. About a quarter of an hour, turn around to Winning Hall and come back. And on the way I'll explain 1 or 2 points of interest as we go on the route, and also a bit of history about the museum and things you can see both this weekend and in the coming weeks. We're running 2 boats this weekend because it's Easter. This actually belongs to Wirral Community Narrowboat Trust. They very kindly lent us this boat for the Easter break to actually enable more people to see the beauty of the canal. The 2 ironworks, 4,000 people employed there. We've got the dye works on the other side. Also on the other side we had a smelting works for a while. They came from South Wales. Inconvenient places. They sometimes put the nest position right in the middle of the museum.
Well, that was a very enjoyable trip, and it was well worth doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the entertainment is in full swing, and it's good to see everybody enjoying themselves. And I think this is a good place to remind you that the Canal and River Trust are a charity looking after more than 2,000 miles of canals and rivers. And your support helps them protect the canals and rivers you love, however you use them. To find out more, visit canalrivertrust.org.uk. The beautiful boat we're about to look at is actually owned by the drummer Duncan, and his friend Michelle is going to show us around.
It's a 1912 butty boat, and it's called Ipswich. It has got a sister boat which is moored over there when you go back round. But if you look at the step, apparently it's got the 1912 coins in from when, when they used to crew it with coal and God knows what on, working with it. So that was meant as good luck thing on the steps. But all these this is all traditional. So, you've got your rail up here, your old fire, and this drops down as a table. like that. Just lovely. And then you can put your plates and things in here. So your cabin was the main, you know, when it hasn't been converted, your cabin was your main living area. So obviously that wasn't like that, but it's been changed. But with this, you know, you've got a cupboard up here, which you can put your bedding in.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It is, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this would have been the extra bed. So, you know, when you pull it down, it would come across here, go on that ledge there, and then you've got an extra bed there, and just drawers underneath. There's drawers everywhere. That's like a little, but it's obviously it's at a slant so that it fits it. But it's all nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I fell in love with this boat, and you can certainly see why this is Duncan's pride and joy.
I guess, I mean, I don't know an awful lot, but my guess is when they were travelling with things on, you know, coal or, you know, things that they needed to deliver from factories, maybe it was just to check that everything was okay that way, or, you know, just to check to see if it was not being nicked. I don't know, perhaps I'm wrong.
I love that door.
It's
You've
cute.
got to think in now. Love it.
Somebody will just say, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, if you know, let us know.
Yeah, I don't know an awful lot. But this has all been changed.
Yeah.
So, but it's still in keeping. It's got the same colour wood and everything. And it goes right back, and then you've got your toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is the kitchen. Oh, it's pretty.
So there's a toilet in there, yeah.
Yeah. That's like the that's a bath.
Wow.
In there. Up on.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's that, because these open up, don't they?
Yeah.
So you've got it wider. And then obviously.
Yeah, really big galley as well, isn't it?
Yeah. That, if you can take, that's Ipswich.
Yeah.
That's actually in Nantwich.
Oh wow.
So that's how it was
Yeah.
before it was redone, you know,
Wow.
done up again. But you can see the guy on the back of it there. When it was being used.
That's a better angle.
So this in here is just the hold. It's a bit dark in here because the canopies are down. You can't see very well in here, it's very dark. But it's pretty massive up that way. And you've got your steps here. You know, when these covers are up, we usually get the middle rope and through the locks.
Yeah. These, really?
No.
And it's Duncan the drummer?
Yeah, you'll have to have a talk to him.
Yeah.
Ipswich really is a beautiful boat, and a big thank you again to Michelle for showing us around. We finally caught up with Annie from the Canal and River Trust, who was very busy on the day but had time to speak to us.
Annie, what is your role at the Canal and River Trust?
So I'm the Destination and Attraction Manager, which means I lead the team at the National Waterways Museum here in Ellesmere Port and Anderton Boat Lift and Visitor Centre over in Northwich, both in Cheshire.
Okay, and if people want to get involved with the Canal and River Trust, because at the end of the day it is a charity.
Well, I think first of all, just visit any of our attractions or any of the waterways and you'll quite often see a load of us out there, quite often in our blues, not often with rabbit ears on because it's obviously Easter, and just talk to some of the staff. We have loads of volunteers. We're a UK-wide charity looking after over 2,000 miles of canal and river. Otherwise, jump on the website. There's loads of information about how you can get involved and how you can volunteer. And it's really important to know that you can volunteer in loads of different ways. You don't have to come out to events, you know, although we'd love to see you. You can look after the locks, you can get involved in heritage, ecology, anything you're interested in, I'm sure we can find your volunteering role at the Canal River Trust.
Excellent, thank you. And one last question. We've really enjoyed our time here at the museum, and I believe you can get an annual pass.
You can, yes. So we do day passes and we do annual passes. An annual pass will enable you to come in any day of the year that we're open, free, come in, enjoy all the events. And we have lots of events going on, like this wonderful Easter gathering where we have about 46 historic boats come in. We have pirate weekends, we have steampunk weekends. There's just a couple of events that are ticketed that we've got coming up, like old time sailors, but the majority of time annual pass will just get you in for a free day out.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Annie. We've had a fabulous day and nice that the sun's shining.
Lovely to see you. Thanks for coming.
Well, it's late afternoon and the event's winding down, but we've had a brilliant day. And we'd like to say a big thank you to Annie, to Barbara and all the staff that looked after us. And we're looking forward to returning for further events at Ellesmere Port Boat Museum.
Canal River Trust do host events throughout the year. We'll leave a link down below so you can have a look at what's going on this year. Go along, support you. It's a charity at the end of the day, so go along and support these events. They are incredible.
We really hope you enjoyed that look at the historic boat event at Ellesmere Port. We had a really good time yesterday, didn't we?
We did. It was the staff were really nice. There was lots of old boats there, and while you're sort of aware we've probably got quite a modern shiny boat, there's just something magical about the historic boats, isn't there? Yeah,
we really like the historic and traditional boats. It's just lovely to look around them, and thanks to everybody that let us have a look around as well. That was really generous, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Because they are people's homes. Yeah. But we did get to go on a couple, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And also to let you know that we're going to be at the Crick Boat Show, so please do come and say hello. And where will they see us?
Well, they'll see us all around Crick. However, we've been invited to the Aquavista stand at the Tillers and Tankards bar that they have there. We went last year. Yes. It was a great event because they had like live music. They had a charity shave, which I think is happening this year as well. So yeah, come and see us. Come and see Sebastian because he's looking forward, I think, to going to Crick as well. Well, we hope he is.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere last year, wasn't it? The sun was out, the bunting was up, and it was just a fabulous atmosphere.
Real party vibe, wasn't it?
Yeah, come and say hello to us if you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Right, well, thanks for watching this video. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you can hear a squeaking, that's Sebastian.
Come here. Say hello.
Yeah, he doesn't really like being picked up.
He doesn't mind.
There he comes.
There he is.
There you are, mate. You're getting a bit big, aren't you?
And we'll all see you at Crick.
Yeah. So if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And
that's my line.
That's right, boy.
Keep your comments coming. We love to receive them. I spend the whole weekend replying, but I would love to see what you've got to say.
Okie doke. See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.